This is our new record, Decimate Christendom, and it's pretty much in line with what Incantation has always been about. And hopefully some new kids can get into some old school death metal, and the old school death metalers will like the album.
Yeah, check
Decimate
it out.
Christendom.
Yeah, hell to go.
So we are today in Montpellier for your French tour with Behemoth, Prison, Ragnarok. How do you feel on the road in this land, France?
France is totally sucked. No, I'm just joking. But no, it's been really good. All the shows we played in France so far have been real kick-ass. Definitely one of the highlights of the tour for sure. We played that Tattoo Your Mind festival, which was really cool, and then over in Paris, which was an awesome show. So if tonight's half as good as both of those shows, then we'll be happy. Yeah, I think there's a lot of sickos here, so it should be cool.
Okay, do you think that the fact to be now on Listenable Records is changing the way the band is having fans in France?
Well, I think it just helps our profile in Europe in general. I mean, Listenable's the first label that is actually doing some work for the band, so the European label at least. I mean, we've worked with other European labels in the past, and it just seems like they do nothing, or do very minimal stuff. So working with Listenable is putting a lot of time promoting the band. Got us on a killer tour like this. Listenable's been doing their job. I mean, and the main guy, Laurent, is a cool guy. I've known him probably for about 16, 17 years now, since he used to do his own fanzine called Peer Drop back in the early 80s, I mean not early 80s, late 80s, so I felt comfortable working with them, and I think it's a good decision for sure to work with Listenable. I mean, they did a great job for Immolation, which are friends of ours, and they've also sorted other bands they have been doing really good. So, it's worth a shot, and so far it's been killer.
You are knowing Lauren for a long time, so why only signing with him by now? Or maybe last year or 2 years ago?
Yeah, well, we wanted to sign with him actually earlier than we did. We wanted to do the last album, Listenable, but unfortunately our U.S. record label, Necropolis at the time, advised us not to. They said that working with Candlelight, who did our last album, would have been better than Listenable, and they were totally wrong. Because Candlelight was useless. I mean, it really did a bad job. They didn't do anything for the album, And I don't think they would argue the fact that they did nothing, because they know they did nothing. So we actually wanted to work with Laurent sooner, but it was just we got some bad advice from our old record label, and we took it and we got burned. And I knew that Listenable would be a safe bet to work with. That's why we made sure for this sound that we definitely did it. We weren't going to take any chances. Because we knew Laurent was a cool guy. We knew he has a very optimistic label as far as a lot of he's getting bigger and stuff. So it's, gotta do it. I'd rather work with someone like Laurent that understands our music and has been a fan of the band for a while than working with a bigger company that's just gonna do minimal stuff for us and just not care about the band or whatever. I think Laurent cares about the band. He cares about death metal. He's a fan of it and stuff.
Okay, considering Candlelight, do you think you were maybe abused by their big name in the metal scene in general?
What, abused by Candlelight, you mean?
Yeah, maybe knowing or maybe believing that it's good because a big label.
I really didn't know a lot about it, but I know they do a lot for Emperor and Zyklon, so I know that the possibility for them to do good is there, but it just on our situation, it just seemed like they weren't even trying really to do anything. So and I've heard from other bands on the label too that there's a similar similar problems with Candlelight. That they work really hard on certain bands and then do nothing for some of the other bands. But I mean, it wasn't my choice to go with Candlelight. Really, it was, you know, our U.S. record company at the time really pushed for it. I just thought that, you know, our U.S. record company was looking for our best interest, so I went with their idea instead of following my own heart and wasn't listenable.
Okay, with Decimate Christendom, would you say that Incantation is following the same line as usual? Or maybe with this new album, you will try to have new fans?
Well, we always try to have new fans, but we want to have new fans by doing the stuff that we like to do. Each album we put out is always a sincere album to what we like, what we want to write, our perception and vision of death metal, you know. It's, you know, everything we do is just us being ourselves, you know, we're not really concentrating on the trends, you know. I mean, it'd be great for us to sell a lot of albums, but it's not the main goal. The main goal is for us is to enjoy what we're doing, you know, and be able to play music that we like and, you know, play for people that like the kind of stuff that we do, you know, not to try to conform to and make other people happy, because we're the ones that have to go up there and play it, and we want to be able to play it, you know, sincerely, you know. So, you know, and then the new album is just, you know, another, you know, step in us just doing what we like to do. I mean, I think it's a lot more aggressive than our last album. It has a lot more of a lively feeling that we were looking for. And on each album, we try to maybe accent a different aspect of the band's personality. And this one, we really wanted to get a real sound on the album, really more organic sound, not a as bigger production kind of thing. It was just more of a meat and potatoes kind of album, you know, just be us, you know. You know, it's similar to how it would sound live or something like that, with the attack of live vibe to it, you know. Just what we wanted to do this time.
Okay, Incantation is known for his really intense and technical approach. Is it by now easier for you to compose those songs, or do you think that each time it's a kind of challenge to go further?
No, it's not. I mean, it's all just however it comes out kind of thing, you know. We don't really like, you know, have a major master plan or something. I mean, we might have a basic idea what we're looking for in an album and stuff. We don't like, you know, go crazy trying to maybe outdo ourselves or whatever. We just try to write stuff that we like. You know, we try to push ourselves to the limits that we can and try to do better each time. But it's not like, you know, we're thinking like, you know, we have to be, you know, technically better or have to be whatever better. We just try to, but it's not the main goal. The main goal is to write songs that we like. You know, we just write music for enjoyment. You know, it's our way of expressing ourselves. It's the style of music that we enjoy, and we just do it. You know, I don't care. You know, it's not. You know, any success or anything we get is because we're being ourselves, and not because we're trying to conform. And musically, we never concentrate on the amount of notes in the riff or the anything except for the vibe that you get when you listen to the riff. It's more of the perception when you hear it, not the, you know, technical. It could have a lot of notes in it or it could have a few notes in it, as long as the vibe is proper. You know, we're trying to get a mood across in the music. We're not worried about, you know, making it a talent show or anything like that. You know, our band's never been about that. Our band's been about, you know, getting a good, heavy, dark vibe in the music and you know, trying to go on a, you know, some kind of death metal journey or something.
For some years, you took back the singing with the guitar playing. Do you think that having the both jobs to accomplish on stage and on the rehearsal change a bit your way of thinking your music?
Yeah, I mean, it does for sure. I mean, just playing guitar and doing guitar and vocals gives you a totally different perception of the songs and everything. Yeah, I think changes the perception, but I think I guess it started off being kind of weird or whatever, you know, to look at it from a different point of view, but now I think it's cool that, you know, I can kind of express, you know, what the band's thinking as far as the music, and express it in the vocals of the band. It's, you know, it's good. I mean, I'm a representation of, you know, the other guys in the band too, so I always, you know, we always work together as a band to try to, you know, try to make sure that the vocals are, you know, a good representation of everybody's thoughts and ideas as far as just between lyrical content and, you know, patterns and tones and stuff like that. But yeah, it's definitely a big difference from just playing guitar. It's more of a pain in the ass, really. I mean, it's cool, but it's obviously a lot more work. You have to play the songs and sing, because they're not easy songs to play just on their own, and then I got to sing on top of it. But you know, if you want to do something, you do it. You know, want to get it done, you got to do it yourself sometimes.
Just do it.
Yeah, just do it, like Nike says, right?
Okay. Considering, your stature in the band, you are the main composer, the singer, and the founding member. So, with the other musicians in the band, how does it work? Maybe is your opinion the only opinion in the band, or do you listen a bit to the others?
Yeah, no, I'm not a musical Nazi or nothing like that. Everyone has an input in the band, as long as it's not, you know, the person isn't losing vision of what the band is. I mean, basically, I want to work with people that have a similar musical vision that I do, you know, that I do. So when we do work together and combine ideas, there's not a big problem, because we're all thinking, you know, in the same ballpark. I mean, not everyone's identical, but, you know, we're all, you know, we all like death metal. We all understand the origin of the band, and we all contribute to everything. I mean, I think one of the things that makes the Novembre Decimate Christendom really good is the fact that we worked as a band on all the songs. It wasn't, some of the albums I wrote most of the stuff and then sort of give it to a drummer and then do it, you know, but this time we worked on the songs for like a year, you know, as far as playing them all together, working out the kinks, putting in ideas from everyone. Everybody contributed riffs or just structure ideas or any way they can, and then even in the studio, production-wise, everybody had a say in, you know, the production aspect as far as you know, even like vocal patterns and stuff, and tones for singing and stuff. Like, you know, I was doing the vocals, and I'd have everybody critique it and say, you know, is this good or does this suck or whatever, you know. And it was everything with this record's been a group effort, and I think that's really important to make a good album. I think our best albums, or at least our most successful albums, have always been the ones where we jammed it as a band and worked as a group effort, than the albums that I did more where I wrote most of the stuff myself. And I want to keep that, you know, connection going on. And like I said, the people in the band now are really cool people. We get along, you know, personality-wise, and we get along musically, and, you know, everyone can handle their instruments properly, so it's really cool. And like, everybody wants to be an important part. There's nobody in the band that wants to sit aside and just let someone else do all the work. Everybody contributes to everything, which is great too.
Okay, you told me that you have a French drummer for the tour, as Kyle was not able to play.
Yeah.
With this guy from Bloody Side, was it a big job to learn him the songs and to rehearse before going on stage?
Well, it was more of a big job for him. We didn't have to really teach him too much. He had a hard job of having to learn everything. I mean, he had to listen to the songs and try to figure it out. Only about 4 days time, and he had to jam the songs out with his guitar player from his band and stuff. You know, and we had some problems. We got to Europe a day earlier because we were going to jam with them, but our equipment got lost in the plane, you know, the flight over, so we didn't have any equipment to jam with them the day before. So the day of the first show, we had to practice about a half an hour in the basement of the, there was rehearsal rooms at the club in Tilburg, Holland, so we had to practice for about a half an hour between bands practice and in the rehearsal room. And we played 5 songs the first night, and then for the next couple shows we just tried, you know, luckily the other bands were cool and let us do sound checks so we could go over other songs. So maybe the first week was a little rough, but Ilmar, the drummer from Bloody Sign, really picked up the stuff well, and he has a good feeling in his drum playing, which is very difficult for us to find in a drummer. I mean, we work with other drummers. We always had lots of problems with you know, their style and stuff. And surprisingly, Ilmar fits in pretty damn good. So it's really cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's been doing a great job. I can't argue. And you know, I mean, the only thing better, obviously, is to have our own drummer. You know, but you know, we can't have that. So he's a great second option. You know. Mm-hmm.
And for you, was it not strange to maybe to come to Europe without drummer and without knowing what will be the result on stage?
Yeah, it's totally fucked. I know. We just took a big gamble. We just hoped that he could do it.
Did you have a drum machine anywhere? Or
no? No. If he would have not been able to do it, we would have just been fucked. No, you know, we would have just been hanging out in Holland for a month, waiting for a plane to go home. You know. Yeah. So we lucked out. Really lucked out with getting Ilmar to help out, and luckily he's a cool guy too, so you know, it's really been awesome.
Okay, to finish shortly the interview,
yeah.
Can you talk us about your label and your aim with this label? Do you think it would be a possible future for you to stay in the metal music, maybe if one day Incantation have to stop?
Well, I mean, it's probably one way or another I'll be involved in metal. I mean, it's more than just playing the band, it's a lifestyle. But, I mean, the label thing is, I mean, something that I did earlier on, but I had to stop. Like when in the early 90s I had a label, but I had to stop it because I didn't have a proper place to live and stuff like that. But then now, yeah, I have a more stable life now, and I'm able to do the label and do it, you know, put in a lot more concentration on it and stuff like that. And I basically just want to do a label with the kind of music that I like, you know, which is death metal. And I think there's a lot of bands out there that don't get the recognition that they necessarily deserve, because most labels, they follow the trends of music and stuff like that, and most bands now are more like, say, the gore grind or like really fast type bands and stuff like that, but not many people, you know, give a chance to other types of death metal. I mean, you know, it does, you know, there's bands like, say, Bloody Sign, for instance, is more of a, you know, has fast stuff, but it has a lot of mid-tempos in it and stuff like that, you know, and normally, you know, people would, you know, like, the mainstream wouldn't hear about it, or people might not know about it, but you know, with the connections I have, I can get people to maybe check it out, you know, because I think people like more than just, you know, one style of death metal. I don't think everyone follows the trend, you know, and I wanted to do something that was, you know, more, you know, for the love of the music that I like than, you know, trying to jump on every trend. I mean, other releases we have is my other band that I do, Funerus, with my wife, which is more of a, say, a band in the vein of like Bolt Thrower and Early Grave and stuff like that, more of a heavy groove-oriented type death metal. Then also work with another band called Estuary, which is more of a death thrash type band, a little more in a technical vein and stuff like that. And then, you know, just work with assorted bands and just have, you know, just bands that I might see on tour, or bands that, you know, I might hear their CD or something and just, you know, may hear a demo or something, hear it's good, and, you know, might, you know, want to help them out, you know. I mean, as Incantation, we've helped out bands a lot in the future. I mean, you know, between us and Angel Corpse, we brought over Christian to the U.S. for the first time. We brought over bands like Defiled from Japan for the U.S. for the first time. We did the first U.S. tour of Punch and Stench back in the early 90s. I mean, we've always had a big part in the scene and stuff, and it's just another way of trying to, you know, help out the music that I'm into, you know. And I think death metal is not meant to be a trendy style of music, so there should be no reason why you have to follow the trends to, you know, be successful in death metal. Because I mean, I know Incantation fans, they want to hear Incantation be Incantation. They don't want to hear Incantation, you know, following every little stupid trend that comes along, you know. And the best bands, I think, in any kind of music are the ones that forge their own path and stuff. And between my band and my label, I want to try to do it the way I like to do it, you know. Yeah, I mean, if things don't take off and do great, at least we know that, you know, we were true to ourselves and we did our thing, and, you know, at least we'll have respect, you know. Maybe no money, but respect.
Okay.